to get away with murder. And unfortunately for him, the younger generation turned out in large numbers and said, enough is enough. I would want to encourage them. I would want to encourage us to put meaning to that statement. Let's say enough is enough, and let's gather in large numbers, and let's cause a crisis, and let dissolve Ruto's regime.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ray, for the really intensive explanation. Just a moment, Kingsman. Thanks for the very intense way. Whereas they have the, the legal and ethical and moral obligation to do the right thing, but they don't do it. So we need to have a reset, absolutely, even in the society, not only the leadership, but also in the society, because really we give back the same thing. But before I give the mic to Kingsman,
Mark, as you give people mic, I want to remind our people that let us be very, very patient, because we have more than 100 people requesting a mic, so we cannot give everyone. Thank you much.
Thanks, Hilary. So before I give the next person, before I give Kingsman the mic, I'd like to request the next speakers to really, be precise with their questions, and then just channel those questions to Dr. and then we'll pick 3 people to answer to ask those questions, and then Dr. can respond. But if he wants to respond in between, sometimes there is a question that you're burning to respond to, then he can do that. So the order will be Mitch, Oichi, and then Mebs. Okay, Kingsman, over to you, and then the speakers can ask the questions. Kingsman, can you hear me?
Kingsman, can you hear Maj?
Okay, we'll let Mitch go, and then Hilary, please text him to tell him that we cannot hear him. Mitch?
All right.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. First of all, before I ask, yes?
Okay, then
Hello,
just okay, Oichi, a moment. So Kingsman, just one moment. Oichi, kindly finish, and then you go to Mitch here.
Okay. Yes, before asking any question, I have some reactions from the conversation that you are having here. One is the reaction to the speech that I had from Mukomen, that is CS for Transport. One thing that I think that came into my mind is that this guy thinks that Kenyans do not know exactly what's going on because he's kind of, this was not come to you guys to tell you exactly what you are doing. It's like we don't know. They're doing some work, but we don't know. For a case of Mukomen, it is something that everyone is supposed to see. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to place an advert in a television so that you're able to see what that ministry is doing. For instance, if you go around our country, you will realize that there's some funds that were allocated to the transport to maybe to build new roads and also to do some renovations here and there. But you can realize that that's not being done. Some projects even they stopped. So you wonder, even if you look at I don't know what happened with the roads, because it's like the road ministry. There's some roads that are supposed to be done by the national government. The other roads that are supposed to be done by the member of parliament. Maybe Miguna will ask you to maybe to respond to this one, because we cannot understand why some roads are assigned maybe to members of parliament, others to the county government. But if you go around, you realize that all the resources that have been assigned to these governments, they're not being utilized. The roads are not being built. They come and do 1, 2, 3, and then they take some photos, and then you realize that nothing much being done. It's only that people are not responding. People are not kind of holding them accountable. But now this is the time, the technology that's being used. to address some of the issues that we are seeing in our country. And another thing I think I need to react to it is on corruption, which has been an issue. If you look around Africa, you may realize that most countries in Africa, they're not kind of developing. Nothing much is going on. And from one year to the other, they always come up with the budgets, and there are some things that they need to focus on. For example, why do we need some youth maybe to go to Western countries to look for job opportunities? Something that they know that we need to do here is something that we read about. Industrialization, something that happened in Europe. Why can't they do them here? And then you see some people, like some county government, they have assigned a kind of, they have allocated a particular budget for people to go to different countries to benchmark. What are they benchmarking? Because they really know exactly what is supposed to be done. We know that we need to have industries. That's what we create job opportunities. And if we are not focusing on that, and if we are focusing on other things, then it means we are doomed as a country. So what's happening actually with the from national government to county government, it's like corruptions like in large scale.
Yeah.
And I think that's what bring a big issue in our country, and that's why everyone is hungry, because what is supposed to be like services that are supposed to be even for free, that's not being provided by national government, or no one cares. These politicians, they don't care. What they care about is about their families. Another thing, maybe 1 minute,
Yes.
please, on there's a big issue on conflict of interest.
Land, please. Okay.
Yes, what 1 minute, please.
Yes, please
On
land. Yes.
yes, on the issue of conflict of interest, I think also it is a big issue from the national government to county government, whereby you realize that the people who are doing business with the guy, I don't know if there is maybe also something that Dr. Miguna can respond to this. Do we have a law that that it clearly states something to do with the conflict of interest? If you are employee of government, then you are not supposed to do business with the government, including the relative, because here they are using proxies to conduct a business, and that's how they get this amount of money that we are seeing people that they are carrying, and they're going to form for donation, something of the sort. I think one last point. Now, for this, what is being pushed is that
Oichi, kindly,
we need to focus.
Oichi.
Okay.
Let's just also be mindful of other people. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Then let me end at that point. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes. So now moving forward, I'd like to just underline again, it's 2 minutes each, and we are not restricting because we do not want you to speak as long. We know that the 2 minutes are very restricted. So kindly do prepare your points so that you can deliver them within 2 minutes. After the first minute, I'm going to raise my hand. Look at my profile. You'll see that. And that when I do that, it means you have 1 more minute to go. And I do not want to cut people short by just saying land, because it actually also distracts your train of thought. So please, let's abide by that. Kinspan and then Mitch. I can't hear Kinsman. Mitch, please, 2 minutes. Yes. Hilary, can you hear her? I cannot hear her.
No, I can't hear Mitch. Mitch, we can't hear you.
Okay.
You have a problem.
So
Yeah.
then Maps, please.
Maps?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Maps.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Hilary. Thank you, Dr. Miguna, for your time. Um, I'll be very brief because we don't need to go back to the scripted X space that Ruto held yesterday. Because if you want to hear the opinions of Kenyan people, because this is not a Gen Z movement anymore, it's millennials, it's all Kenyans. You have representatives in all these spaces right now. They're listening, so they know what we are really doing. So you don't send their Robert Alai, who works for the government, to ask questions, because he doesn't represent the views of people on this cause. I had him campaigning about the jobs that he's really securing for the youth in Germany. I will tell you for a fact, because I live here in Germany since 2007. This is the most difficult job market despite the shortage of skilled workers that we have in these countries. Without the German language, you cannot work in Germany because Germans don't need engineers from Kenya. They have enough engineers here. Yeah. What they need are cheap labor who actually they can also get from Eastern European countries. Yeah. So
okay, Mebs, I'm
yes.
going to interrupt you there. We have we have to put out correct information. You know,
Yes.
so when Ruto speaks about Poland and says that Poland needs labor, the situation in
No,
Poland.
I'm talking about Germany. He spoke
yes,
about Germany.
I'm
The
moving
job
there.
that he's
I'm
securing
moving
in
there.
Germany. Yeah.
I'm moving there.
Mhm.
So Ruto was wrong about Poland, but Ruto is right about Germany. You know, even the clock, a broken clock is right once. So at the moment in Germany, the what is it called? The economy is shrinking. They need a lot of people in Germany, and they not only need, actually they need trained people, skilled workers, because what is happening is that due to a lot of racism, and they never really try to bring in people who are skilled. So Canada took over. Cameroonians who are coming to Germany can speak French. So Germany trains them for free, but then they move over to France because of the racism in Germany. As we speak, they're even setting laws to allow people to come in. So let's stay by the truth. Now, the wrong thing that is going to happen, that's where the corruption is going to catch up with us. So once they have that bilateral agreement, what's going to happen is that now the corrupt politicians are going to be around forming companies, taking people to Germany, telling you have to go to this lab. You know, that is the one thing that is going to really even hinder this bilateral agreement. But coming out there to tell people that Germany doesn't need staff, that is a lie. I
No,
have to
I said
correct that.
I said Germany needs. I'll tell you for a fact that Germany is the most difficult job market despite the shortage of skilled workers. That's why I said Germany has. I know for a fact we have a shortage of skilled workers, but without the proper language, without the proper channels, you cannot work here. Cameroonians have it easy here because their system really mirrors the German system, their school system. Yeah, that's why they have it easy here. But anyway, what I wanted to say is we would like to show
Thanks
even
for
the
the
bilateral.
correction. Thanks
Yeah,
for the correction. If you're
thank you.
coming to Germany, you have to learn the language.
Exactly,
But
that is what I
the
said,
job.
Madge, before.
Can you please
Yeah,
let me finish?
yeah.
And then you're going to divert back to the topic, you know,
Mhm.
because otherwise that is not, because this is not the topic of the discussion. And as you've had out there, people are saying, well, now they're just discussing other countries. So, like I repeat, for Germany, he's telling the truth, apart from the corruption that's going to surround this. They're going to just give it to their relatives and things like that, you know. But really, other things about coming to these other countries, we can talk about them another time. So do take your last minute to really just say something on the topic. Over to you,
Yeah,
Mebs.
I had a question for Dr. Miguna because we know that the 50 CAS positions were also unconstitutional and they were still in position. So what do we do about our president who always keeps giving us the middle finger all the time, coming up with this unconstitutional bodies, and what can we do? Because we are tired. We are tired as Kenya. As to put it in context, is Kenya's GDP is only 113 billion US dollars compared to the US for 27 trillion, and in the US they only have 15 cabinet secretaries, while in Kenya we have 22. Why do we need 22 of them? Why can't, I think constitutionally we can just have like 14, a minimum of 14. Why don't we just use 14 and cut our budgets and work according to what we have in the budget? I will leave it at that today. Thank you for the time, Hilary.
And thanks, Mebs. And another thing I can point out, which is a lie or which the government did not disclose, is what they're offering to Germany in return. They're going to fast track deportations. So Kenyans who are living here, and I feel that they really need to say it. I tried to say it and tagged the PS, and she nicknamed me an alarmist, but that is something that was also in the state the truth from both ends. Now, who was next?
Exactly,
Hillary?
just a point, Marge, maybe we lie us on inbox and we can maybe have this bilateral contract translated to English and then we put it out for people to read by themselves.
Right. Right, Maps.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah. Uh,
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Maj. I am of the great opinion that as a country, the government should be tasked with the responsibility of providing jobs for its youth internally first, because we cannot be having an education system that churns out youth from the institutions of higher learning and colleges, universities every year. And yet we cannot have a system that also absorbs them actively into those professions. So we need to have a conversation internally on how we as a country need to self-reliantly equally provide some percentage, even if it's not the whole lot, but some percentage, a higher number of youths who come from these institutions of higher learning, that we design courses for them to partake, and even we create more TVETs. And the other day we had the president speaking about the affordable housing as a means towards creating employment for the youth, which was so laughable. Not all of us go to school to study issues related to constructions and things like that. But as it stands at this particular point, I'm just thinking, Dr. Miguna, could it be possible that maybe moving forward that the Gen Zs or the millennials, like Meb, say that now this is not just a conversation from the Gen Zs alone. What is the role now of the Gen Zs, for example, in holding this county government accountable? Could we now, where can we move as Gen Zs, or even just nationalists from these particular other counties? Where do you proceed from this? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. Mwalimu and Mwalimu, Kingsman, I see you back. Kingsman, go, then Mwalimu, and then Dr. can chime in.
What I wanted to touch at that time before I had the network issues was, Dr. I don't know if you've seen, there's a report, Auditor General's report that is going around about, I think yesterday they gave out a report on the counties, and you could see the wastage annual debt that you're being told about with Kinandi, oh, you must pay, you must pay, you must pay. Daktari, can we get to a point whereby we tell this IMF and Akina World Bank that no, where we are, this 7.2 million, because there's a chart that I've shared for the growth of our debt in the last 10 years. As you can see, the growth is exponential. There is no single year whereby we've reduced our national debt. It is growing and growing and growing. Yet development is also being curtailed each and every year. So the growth is not like they do not go hand in hand. So my question to you is, now we are trying to make the life for this guy as hard as possible. Can we just 90% of our debt is odious debt, and we tell IMF and whoever whom they borrowed from, because I believe the two Eurobonds never go to Kenya, which are around 400 billion. So we say that we are not going to pay this debt, Daktari. Is it possible?
Thanks, Kingsman. Mwalimu, if you can proceed, and then we will see the point where Dr. is going to take on the questions. Mwalimu, please proceed.
I'm loving whatever conversation we are having here. Myself, I live in Nairobi. I'm in construction industry. Being mwalimu has been a long journey, and myself, I'm working in a different industry. Having studied education, I studied, and whatever I've been doing
Mwalimu, your
Mwalimu?
mic is back.
Myself having studying pale kwa Muhindi, there are so much things that we can learn from these guys, and that's why I've been telling people there's been so much of uh, uh, medical tourism of paying the education fees pale kwa Muhindi it was so cheap. Even right now it's so cheap. So what are the things that we are not doing right? Those are the kind of the questions that we need in considering the things like in the industrialization. What are those
Hii topic hii
mm,
hapa ya preparation ya Saba Saba and nini, cause unajua tukiongea hiyo yenye unaongea
mm,
ni ya muhimu sana, lakini ndio tuwe
mm,
manner ni vizuri kama like let's say
mm,
hata
mm, mm,
tukiwa darasa na mwalimu ameamua leo ni GHC, hatutakuja tunaanza kudiscuss CRE na kuelewa ya kwa yenye unataka kusema, lakini ningependa kuomba
mm.
wale wanakuja kuongea next, tafadhali stick to the topic because it's a Sunday. Tumesacrifice kuja hapa kudiscuss hii topic yenye wenye walikuja pia kindly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, over to you, Hillary. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, man. Yeah, that's what we ali kwa lugha yote tuzungumuza juu ya Sabasaba na ni nini inafaa tufanye kesho, kwa sababu ilikuwa na sababu kwa nini iliweko. Mwalimu, ulimaliza? Kwa sababu tunataka tupatie mtu mwingine maji.
Yes. Mwalimu, tafadhali 1 minute on Saba Saba and then we go to Professor. Mwalimu cannot hear me. Professor, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Maj. Good evening. Actually, Dr. has talked everything I wanted to talk, and mine is very simple due to time constraints. We have what we call, we are dealing with a person that we call or we address as a Moi orphan. And being a Moi orphan in this generation and in this dispensation, we must tread carefully with this person because we all know as Kenyans that life report, even the so-called, once we take over, because as I told you, I'm certain that he's going home. We are not sparing him. We are smarter than him. And so these are the last. Tomorrow is Saba Saba. To have a very critical discussion. Those of us who can meet, we can organize for a meeting so that we continue mourning our comrades, the patriots who passed on during this struggle. I was watching news and 2 more people have been confirmed dead. So the number is now at 43. This is very sad. So let us continue with this movement and let us be serious about it. Let us not back down. Let us not be threatened, and we shall succeed. Thank you so much. I'll engage you further.
Thanks so much, Professor, for really will chime in. But Terry, should you want to chime in between, just open your mic. Kiprotich, over to you. Kiprotich, going once, twice. Okay, Felix, next.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
loud
yes.
and yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So, for me, because we are talking about Saba Saba, let me say I'm one of the millennial come Gen Z. So, I can only say it's what I read in books, it's what I know about Saba Saba. But going forward from tomorrow, I want to wish those who have died to rest in peace and those who are in hospitals quick recovery as my opening remark. So, being that I'm seeing many people around, including politicians, I want to say this: to be someone who has a unpopular opinion, like Dr. Miguna himself, I'll say one thing: Ruto might be here to stay until 2027. Be it Saba Saba, the only thing we can do as citizens, let's hold him accountable. That's the only thing we can do. Being that we are in a democratic country, this guy got a message out loud and clear. And going forward, for all revolutions which have happened in the world, there has to be casualties. Those who have to pay the price for the rest to enjoy. And what I have to offer for myself is maybe I'll be one of them who will be a casualty, or I will enjoy the freedom. Being Saba Saba, let's come out and let's stay strong. The guy we are dealing with, the same way he has been called is an Moi orphan. He believed he could behave like a dictator, but we thank God for the 2010 constitution. And for those who fought for it, being Saba Saba, we will really celebrate them. For me and for the rest, let's meet tomorrow. Let's send out the message strong. Let's stay vigilant. Let's hold the guy into account. That's the only thing we can do. Our problem is not paying taxes. Our problem is how we use the taxes. Our problem is not about the debt we take. Our problem is, are we using the debt we are taking the right way? That's the only thing we should be doing from now up to 2027. And if we are not careful in 2027, the guy again, let's be careful, might.
And then Collins, 2 minutes each.
Okay, evening everyone. So mine is just about having listened to Dr. Miguna and his and also having supported the Gen Z in what did. I think it's only fair now moving forward, next 50 years, what's the thought is needed to be presented to the people. Back then it was land and education, opportunities. We got that. We did our constitution. We have good documents that we can refer to. And there are documents that can be upheld if at all integrity issues are looked into. But now, whatever shall be addressed tomorrow, I think it's only fair to say that we have got enough for everyone and enough to invest in ourselves. So matters to do with corruptions, those are things that we have got documents to be addressed. But now let's also relate to what next. We may say we will do away with someone out of office, but that's it. But what next?
You're
Yes,
muted.
I'm still there.
Yes, okay. Yeah, please
Okay, go ahead.
land. Yeah.
So in conclusion, I don't want to say much, but as much as what transpired with the initial demonstrations communicated a lot, the Gen Zs and the millennials need direction. We already have what was fought for during independence. So what next? What opportunities are we? Some of us have got ideas that we need to be invested in. I can present an idea, people contribute, and something pops up, employment pops up.
Yeah.
So our Saba Saba needs to be guided. Let it not be personal to attack someone, but it's 100 years from now. This is a revolution will crop up. Mine was just that. So let's not.
You're being
Maj, I can't hear
inconsiderate.
anybody.
Okay.
Who is speaking?
Dr.
It's me
Hello?
speaking.
Is Maji speaking? Can you ask Dr.
Hello?
Yes, Dr. Kolo?
2 minutes each. When I raise my hand, the 1 minute is over, then you know you have 1 minute.